Rock and roll. Relationship status, what about you?
I have a pet.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pet, like a guy that acts like my dog.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I thought you were joking.
He sleeps on my floor on the dog bed.
He's like a sub? Is that what you call him? Or a slave?
He just does whatever I ask.
A servant?
So you have a master-slave BDSM dynamic.
Yeah, basically. I went in.
You're being serious, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got out of an abusive relationship about a year ago. The guy tried to strangle me like 5 times, ran to the neighbor's
I'm
house.
not sure how that's relevant, but okay.
So I ended up with a
Well,
sub
because, as you know, the best way to recover from being in an abusive relationship is to abuse somebody. Everybody knows that.
Well, I don't hit him or anything, and he
just humiliate him, make him sleep in a dog bed. Does he have a dog
I told him
bowl?
he could. I didn't tell him he had to. He asked me to buy him a dog bed.
Yeah, but I mean,
boy.
you do realize that there are mentally ill individuals out there who do mentally ill things, and that it is very enabling when a person's like, well, I know that you're mentally ill and sick in the head, that you'd be willing to sleep in a dog bed like a freak, but I'm going to go ahead and in some way get some sort of gratification from that. Like, what doesn't that say something bad about you?
I didn't think about it, but I guess I don't know. I take care of him financially. I pay all of his bills. Like,
why?
Because I don't know.
She's the dom. She's the dom.
I just enjoy the comfort. It's
Do you
a
peg him
companion. I don't think so.
How would you would forget that, or how would you forget that?
I tell him he's a good boy, though.
Does he bark for you?
He probably would if I asked him to.
Is this around your child?
Yeah, what kind of pet dynamic is this?
Have you seen, this is like that. Have you seen that Office episode where they like went to Jan's house, like Michael and Jan's house, and like Jan had the whole bed.
She walks in with the collar.
He has the ottoman.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is, actually.
And then there's like a what's it called? You know, at the edge of the bed, there's a
Ottoman.
Ottoman. It was like an ottoman. He slept on the ottoman.
Are you being 100% serious?
Is it abusive if there's a contract that says he consents to this?
I mean,
Legally.
look, it is a
An NDA?
BDSM relationship. I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if a man, for instance, were to have some type of contract with a woman that it was okay for him to, well, I don't know, smack her around whenever he felt like it, you would still consider that to be abusive, even though it was contractual, right?
I looked it up by law. It's technically, if it's consensual by a contract, you're okay.
You wouldn't think that was abusive?
I mean, if I don't like it and I'm saying no, then yeah, that's a form of abuse, I think.
How long has this been going on?
Well, I've known him for 8 years, but it became more of a thing recently.
How recently?
Like about a year now.
So you guys been together for a year?
We're not together.
Well, okay, hold on.
Do you take him on walks? Does he get little treats?
He actually thought that
on a
would be
leash?
funny. He's already talked about that.
Yeah. So, okay. Why are you so attracted to mentally ill men?
Abusive men.
I don't know. I can't. I've never actually had a deep conversation with myself.
Childhood trauma, perhaps?
Yeah, probably.
The current guy that you're not seeing, but lives in your house and you pay all of his bills, do you have a carnal relationship with this gentleman?
Like what kind of relationship? I didn't hear.
Sexual? Is it a sexual relationship?
No, I really haven't had much sex in like a year. I would say it has been like twice, and then I just know it's not sexual anymore.
Wait, you've had sex with him?
Yeah, in
2
the
times.
very beginning, and then I just can't have sex with him anymore.
How often does he sleep on your floor?
Every night.
Oh, every night he comes over and sleeps. Oh, he lives in your house?
He doesn't leave my house.
Does he do your chores?
Yes.
Can you just break down like everything he does for you?
Holds my jacket. If I have girlfriends, he holds their jackets and purses. If I need him to walk to the grocery store, he will. If I get sick, he'll take care of me. If he gets sick, I take care of him. Yeah, everything. Any house chore I need done, he'll get done for me.
Okay.
He just doesn't drive.
Does he wear anything?
And is he older than you?
Yeah, he's 30.
Yeah. Okay. So the couple of quick questions. I'm just curious about when if you think about what is mentally stable, right, or somebody who's not mentally ill, would you see it as a sign of perhaps abnormality? A man who is willing to sleep on the ground in a dog bed and be ordered about by a person who owned the place to the point where they would stand there as a coat rack or have endless demands put on them, which are essentially dehumanizing.
What is that? Repeat that first part of the sentence, please.
Yeah, do you consider that mentally stable?
Graffito Tact donated $200. Girls, do men expect extremely kinky / weird stuff in bed due to corn becoming more extreme? Can you give examples? Have you ever had to break up because a sex act a guy wanted was too crazy for you?
We'll come right back to that, Graffito. Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, sure. I'm just wondering, do you consider that to be mentally stable behavior?
I don't think he's mentally stable at all. I definitely know he's not mentally stable, but he's not capable of taking care of himself. I've tried to help him get his driver's license. I've tried to help him get.
I mean, are you a psychologist?
No.
I mean, so you can't make a diagnosis.
I guess you're right.
Instance,
I can't. But he doesn't.
About whether or not, hang on, about whether or not a person can take care of themselves, and even if he couldn't, and I'll just grant to you that he couldn't, wouldn't you then defer that to professionals who could assist him so that he could take care of himself rather than exploiting a mentally ill person, making them sleep on the floor like a dog? How is that not monstrous?
I guess I thought because it's consensual and he wants to be next to me all the time. I didn't think it was.
Is it consensual? If a mentally ill person gives consent, are they really giving consent?
He wasn't diagnosed as mentally ill, so I mean, I don't know. I never thought about this.
Sorry, Andrew, I just want to jump in. You mentioned before the show that you're a mother. If you have a mentally ill person that you acknowledge is mentally ill living in your home, how are you feel safe with your child around him? Why are you exposing your child to that?
My daughter loves him, and he's really good with my daughter too.
But you just said that he's mentally ill.
Well, I don't know what you guys considered mental ill. He can take care of himself. He's good with kids.
Would bark like dog if requested. Stands as coat rack for you. Sleeps on the floor like a dog. Is treated as a pet by you, by your admission.
But he's still a human.
I think that a person who would be willing to do that sounds like they have some screws loose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's not he has a good heart. He's not a bad person.
I'm not blaming him. Yeah. I don't think he's bad. I don't think that the person here who's completely unwell is the bad person.
She asked about my kid, and if he was a bad person, of course he wouldn't be around my kid. But he's not a bad person. He's actually really good with people.
But what do you think that is not sending some sort of message or teaching your, you said it was a daughter, I believe?
Well, he doesn't do that. If my kid is there, I sure co-parent with my sister. So if my sister gives me, we share custody. If my daughter's there, he doesn't do that around my daughter.
No, not only that, but do you not think that it's confusing your daughter to see her mother in a relationship with a man who's a doormat for her instead of a loving monogamous relationship, or even not a monogamous relationship, but a real partner?
You have a point. She kind of I guess so, yeah, because she's dominant too. She kind of tells him what to do, and yeah, no, there's a point there, yeah.
Because the father figure in your life, or at least whoever that is, maybe the stepdad, the daddy stepdad, whatever it might be in people's situations, I know that for women that really determines a lot about the future relationships that they engage in and what they expect for themselves and what they think they deserve. Shout out to my dad, who would warm the car up every single morning before school when I was a kid. Do you not want better for your daughter than this? Don't you think you deserve a real partner in life who...
I think I'm just scared of men because I went through a year ago and I've known him for 8 years, so it's easy to be close to someone you're comfortable with than get abused again.
Have you ever thought of conquering that fear and I don't know, CBT therapy or something like that to really move past it instead of just have a man...
I'm trying to go to therapy, but every time I try to get therapy, it seems like there's always an issue trying to get a therapist to help with something. So I've definitely reached out to people. I've definitely asked for help, but it seems like there's always a insurance problem. If I get that fixed, there's another issue.
Well, have you thought about the idea that perhaps you're just a horrible person? Have you perhaps reconciled the fact that you could just be a fucking awful person who likes to do damage to men?
No, because I've had boyfriends say I'm a wonderful girlfriend. I've had boyfriends...
When you make them sleep on the floor?
No,
and make them act as a coat rack for your friends? So you can demean them?
Technically, he's not my boyfriend, but when I've had boyfriends, I've cleaned their dishes, taken care of their dog, walked their dog. I've also been the one that takes care of all their stuff while they're paying the financial bills, and I just sit there and I take care of them.
I think that there's an overemphasis often on the idea of therapy, therapists, and the fact that you need a mental health professional to come in. I think that the first step, honestly, is where's the common sense here? I don't actually even understand. Like, where's the common sense?
This guy has the right to leave at any point.
If you make a man sleep on the floor like a dog and then publicly proclaim that he's your pet, right? You might be a horrible fucking person. Like, I don't know why you would need a psychologist.
He has the right to leave and go anywhere he wants. I don't.
We pay all his bills. Why would he ever leave if you're paying all his bills? He doesn't really have. He's leeching off of you.
He's not trapped there either.
But he doesn't have an incentive to leave if you're paying all his bills. Why would he go be broker and homeless or whatever it might be?
That's what I'm saying. If he
sleeps
thought I
by
was
you every night.
If anybody thought I was a horrible person, they can always get up and leave my place too.
But do you see how you've incentivized him to stay in this environment?
He's dependent
on you. You've incentivized him. It's kind of like federal government aid on welfare, that if you're just getting a consistent check or something, why would you ever go and get your own job or figure out something else?
Like here, I'll show you what she's saying. Right? Let's
a little bit.
This.
Okay.
Let's reverse this for a second. Hang on. Let's reverse it. Let's pretend for a second that I was on the panel and I said, well, I found a mentally unwell woman who can't take care of herself and she's totally dependent upon me. At night, I make her sleep on the ground, right? I make her do all sorts of sexual things whenever I feel like it, right? And I treat her like a doormat in front of every woman who comes over. Not a doormat like, ooh, I'm kind of rude to her, but literally make her stand there with her arm extended, and then me and my friends hang our coats and balance our drinks from her little nose. Would any woman here not say that that was fucking horrific and that I was a monster? Go ahead. By a show of hands, who would say, if I said all of that to you, that I was a monster? Show of hands. Yeah, okay. But somehow the sisterhood can't be bothered to express to this woman that what she's doing is fucking monstrous.
No one's ever said anything to me.
Yeah, I'm sure they haven't.
Well, I guess it's because on Twitter, like, I've seen a lot of stuff about findom. So, like...
What is that?
Findom is... I don't know specific terms and all that, but
she's just saying we don't kink shame around here.
Yeah,
that's like
exactly. I was like, some people are into that stuff, so I just try to like respectfully listen. I haven't really thought that people are like mentally ill.
Yeah, but if it was a man,
well, you're saying all men submissive people are mentally
ill. He would be
a
monster.
That's basically what you're saying. Is all people that want to actually be, because there's people that pay people to be made. There's people that enjoy that. Like there's people that dress up in fucking sex outfits and clean your house and live there permanently.
Yeah, they're mentally unwell. Listen, you can't tell me that a guy who demands that you take his last dime so that he can come harder is not a mentally unwell man. Of course they're mentally unwell, and it's exploiting that mental unwellness. And it's like, somehow I don't understand why women give each other a pass on this. Why they're not like, you sick psychopath, why are you doing this horrible thing to this guy? I don't actually get it.
I guess I can explain that. We some women, when we're like doing this shit, we get like kind of, I don't know, our brain, when society is like, oh, that's okay, then we start doing, we get used to doing that stuff. It's not, anybody doesn't tell us it's wrong. We're not going to break that pattern of being like, oh, that doesn't sound right. No, you know, because we kind of get like into this, like, just as all of society kind of brainwashed into shit, and we were kind of like, don't think that's brainwashing.
Yeah, but did he ask for this, or did you propose the idea?
He asked for the dog bed. He's asked for this stuff. Like, I didn't.
Did he like sit you down, have a conversation with you?
Actually, yeah, kind of. Yeah, a little bit.
And do you ever see this ending? Is there an end point in the future?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that. But they're
but the
I mean, if I met somebody that I actually enjoyed spending time with, that actually like wasn't like wanted to do the equal part, like have a car and they had a good job, then yeah, I would be like, yeah, you know what, I found someone that I actually appreciate. Like they want to put half of the weight into the relationship. I probably would be like, this is not going to work out.
It seems like from everything that you've said about relationships, that like relationships to you are just like a financial situation where like if we want to go 50-50, provide for him, he provides for me. But like in my opinion, there's so much more, like especially when it comes to long-term monogamy and having a child already. If her dad's not in her life, having a strong person to help. I know being a single mom, it's impossible to do everything. That's amazing that your sister helps out, but even being able to spend enough quality time with your child while also trying to bring income in. I'm only 24. I don't have a daughter, but I do have friends who have, you know, children, and they have husbands who are very helpful, and I can't imagine them doing half the things they do.
To have a good man.
So
yeah.
Has this started from when you were young? Have you always gone after abusive men? Or at least men who just weren't up high value, up to the standard, really wanted you for everything that you are and not just the financial aspect?
Yeah, it's been an issue with starting with my narcissistic mother to like the men she dated. So
do you see that you're repeating that pattern for your daughter now, when you can break the cycle instead and choose better?
I've started to notice it more recently, and it's been very difficult to break something that's psychologically ingrained into me. I need like that's not an overnight healing thing that you can just do overnight. That is a lot of work to put in.
Well, is your daughter not worth putting in the work for?
Well, yeah, she is.
So then why not start tomorrow? Kick him out of your house. You don't have to find a new man, but you can put all that energy into your child, and you can attract somebody who wants you for who you are, not just any financial benefits that you can offer, not for a dog bed, for genuinely who you are as a human being.
You know, I actually, the last week I've been, like, we've started fighting about stupid shit, and I was like, you know, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I've been doing it for a while, and it's not enjoyable like it was when we were first like connected. It was just a past relationship, and I'm dragging that along with me because I'm scared of like fully embracing being in the future and not in the past. And I think that's just trauma just holding me back from being happy.
The best advice I ever got.
No,
is,
you're not a victim here.
You got to let go.
You're not a victim here. You're the victimizer here. You're the victimizer, not the victim. Like, Every time I see this pattern of when a woman is clearly victimizing a man, clearly victimizing him, they go, well, it's okay, don't give me too much pushback because after all I have former trauma. It's like, that's no excuse. I'm sorry, you don't get to do horrible things to people because horrible things were done to you. All of us have had horrible things done to us. All of us. No, you're no exception. Right? Everybody's had horrible things done to them in life,
but also
and have dealt with horrible challenges in life. Everybody has dealt with horrible challenges.
Yeah.
Right? What you're doing right now, right? You should be reflective because this is psychotic. It's psychotic and horrific, and you just got to stop. Right? You just got to stop doing it. It's horrific.
Yeah. But I would say, like, no one's perfect. We can all learn from everything, and you know.
Oh yeah, that's fine. You know, just go shoot a guy down the road and be like, well, no one's perfect. You know, you got to live and learn.
I mean, have you're a perfect person.
What do you mean? I wasn't allowed to go shoot that? It's like, come on.
Yeah, but you haven't made mistakes. You haven't made mistakes. You're perfect. Like, you haven't had trauma affect your life. Like, I
just got done telling you that not only have I dealt with all sorts of personal baggage, trauma, all sorts of things, right? Just like everybody else has. That is not an excuse for me to be a horrible person.
But you learn from it.
I don't get a pass. Like, no one's ever going to be like, well, Andrew, you being a horrible bastard, I'm going to go ahead and give you the pass on that because of past trauma. But for some reason, reflexively, women go, because horrible thing done to me. I was a perfect angel till some man corrupted me, so therefore doing horrible things to other people is acceptable. It's not acceptable.
I was traumatized when Azin was spitting my cup. I'm not spitting in anybody else's cup this time.
I mean, I think I actually just saw you put something in my cup.
You wish.
What the fuck? Okay, all right. Thank you, Rachel, for the soup chat, by the way.
With collagen.
Oh, there you go. Okay, we have a chat here from Lucas. Can you read it, Deborah?
Yes. We missed that, to go back to that one from before, whenever. Nice PB Herman response. It's patently obvious that you're quite the highbrow intellect. Nevertheless, I've been married 22 years plus 2 kids. Oh, and by the way, my billing rate is $12.50 an hour, so do the math.
Wait, are you crying? Are you crying? Are you crying because you did horrible fucking things to a person and you finally realized that you're doing horrible things to a person?
No, I just...
You need to cry. It's good for you to cry. You know what that's called? It's called taking responsibility.
It's not like, I get that, but you gotta understand, like, people aren't fucking perfect. People make mistakes, and we can learn from that. You shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm a fucking human being just because I didn't recognize something. I can change and I can grow from that.
Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, you did a horrible thing to a person, and it was pointed out that you need to stop being horrible.
No one fucking told me I was doing a fucking horrible thing to somebody.
Take some accountability for the horrible fucking things that you're doing. And you should cry about it because it's fucking awful. It's awful.
So you never treated a girl like shit before?
No, I've never made a woman sleep on the ground like a dog and took her from walks and exploited her mental illness. It's psychotic.
And you know what? I don't even know if he has a fucking mental illness, so that's a fucking assumption.
He sleeps on the floor like a dog at his own request.
He wanted to. I didn't ask him to fucking do that. He wanted to do that.
That was his choice.
That's
I
how you
told him
know
he could
he's
sleep on the
mentally
effing
ill.
bed. He wanted
When
to
the guy
sleep on
comes
the
over
floor.
and wants to cut off his arm, are you going to be like, well, it was his choice?
I told him he could sleep on the bed. He chose to sleep on the floor. How is that my fucking fault?
Because you have agency and accountability. And
So
since
does
you have
he.
agency and
As
accountability,
an
you have
adult, he
something
can
called
choose
a
to sleep
duty.
on the floor. He can choose to sleep on the bed. That
have a
doesn't make
duty.
me a
Listen,
horrible
listen.
fucking person.
You have a duty, an accountable duty, because you are mentally well.
So
You
if he
have
wants
a-
to sleep
you
on the
have a
floor, I should
duty
say,
to
hey,
not
get
be
up
a
on the
horrible
bed.
human
Sleep
Wait,
on the
guys,
bed. Because
wanna-
that is not fair to me to tell a person how they should be living their life. If he wants to live on the floor, he can live on the floor. If he wants to live on the bed, he can get up on the bed and sleep on the bed. I gave him that option.
But if you didn't play the part of like him being your pet, would he still do that? If you just treat him like a normal human being instead of a dog?
I mean, I don't
Because
go
if
there
that's
and-
what he wants, then maybe if you just stopped doing that, he wouldn't find use with you of that anymore.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I just told him he could sleep on the bed. I never said, hey, you can do this or you want this. He chose to sleep on the floor. That was
Yeah,
his.
well, look how quick those fake tears dried up.
Wow. Cool, bro. That's really great.
Awkward.
Someone
Yeah,
someone asked a question earlier. We didn't get back
Like
to it.
I like that you invalidate the fact that someone actually has emotion because you think that I'm some psycho, but yeah, you actually think you're some god, right? Like you think you're the best
I
dog.
don't think I'm a god. I think but here's the thing, right? It's like, well, it's not godly. It's not me thinking
Well, are
I'm a
you God?
god
Wait,
to tell you to
you-
stop being a fucking horrific human being and
Well, he
putting a
wants to
man on
attack
the
me.
floor, putting him on the floor, treating him, making
I
him a
didn't put him on the
co-pass
effing
your-
floor, and
so
I
you
made
can
that
hang your
very
coat
clear.
and laugh
I
with your
gave the
friends.
option to sleep on the bed. I gave him that option. I didn't say,
Oh,
hey,
how
go sleep on
benevolent
the
of you.
floor.
How
I didn't tell him
benevolent
to
of you.
sleep on the
Let's get
floor.
you a
He
medal.
has the option to sleep on the bed. He chose to do that. So he has every right to do that, or he has every right to sleep on the bed. He, as a 30-year-old man, he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. I gave him the
You
option
have
as a bed.
no responsibility, no accountability, no duty whatsoever.
What, do you want me to grab him by his arms and put him on my effing bed?
No,
Like,
how
I don't
about-
know.
how about
I'm
instead
not
you get him some
controlling
help? How about you
what
get
he
him some
does.
help? Can
What?
you get him some help?
I don't know how. I'm not in control of a fucking 30-year-old.
You don't have to be in control.
He can go. He
of
can
him-
go
of
to
him get him
anything to
help.
get the resources.
If you're in charge to the point where you can treat him like a coat rack and hang your jacket on him, you think you can't take him? You think if you say, hey boy, come on and get in the car because I'm going to take you over to the clinic so that they can get you mentally evaluated, he's not going to go with you? You just don't have any duty here? You have
No,
no
I mean, I've
responsibility?
taken him to get an Obama phone. He got an Obama phone. I've taken him to get food stamps. I've put in the time to actually take care of this person and make sure they're trying to get steps towards going somewhere else.
Because you get off on torturing him.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't make him stand as a coat rack and hang your coats. so
I
that
don't
you and your friends can
necessarily
laugh.
offers to take people's coats. Like, he offers to actually help out.
I mean, the story kind of changes by the second so that you could make it sound like it's less horrible than what it is. You have a duty. You have a responsibility. You're crying because it's the first time anybody's ever told you that. How did you get through life? How did you get this far in life without somebody telling you that you're not allowed to do that to people?
Because maybe you're making it seem bad, worse than it actually is.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, maybe you're making it try to seem like it's not as bad as it actually is, because that's another form of validation to look at me.
Okay.
Alrighty then. Okay, well, we have going to, unless Andrew, did you have more? Or?
You shit on me for crying,
No,
and then you
I'm
say it's
done.
not okay for me
Yeah,
to fucking
good,
cry.
good. I'll shit on you. You know, I'm not shitting on you for crying, right?
You said,
I'm saying
are you
deserve to
really
cry.
fucking crying right
you
now?
Absolutely
And then you
should
said
cry.
I should fucking cry. So what? Make
Good,
up your goddamn
cry.
mind.
Good, cry. Good.
Yeah, I
So
fucking
first
will
time-
cry.
Yeah, you need to. What you're doing is horrific. Good, cry about it. Cry more.
Fuck.
You say that I'm the fucking abusive one. You're telling me to fucking go cry.
Let's move on from the.
Yeah. I'm
Fuck, you
sorry,
want to
Nick,
be
I'm
my
sorry.
dom? Why
In
don't
your
you
life.
fucking be my dom while you're at it? Tell
I'm
me what
sorry,
the fuck you
I'm
do.
sorry,
Tell
your
me when I
rocket
should go to the
outfit's doing
fucking
great.
bathroom.
Have no
You want him
effect
to
on
be
me.
your
My
dom?
bad.
Andrew, she's looking for, she's switching roles. She was the sub. She was the dom. Now she wants to be a sub. Andrew's a married man, just letting
I'm
you
just
know, so
saying,
he's
he's
probably not
telling-
available. He's not available.
I wouldn't want
as
him
his
to be my dom.
representative, as his agent, as his PR person. He's not available to dom you. I'm sorry.
I don't want that, but I'm
He's
just
good. He
saying
would be
he's
good
telling
at
me
it.
what to do.
He's a very good.
So it sounds like you want to be
Andrew,
my dad.
You would be a good dom.
Tell me to cry.
You would be a good dom.
happening right
Yeah, you know, the thing is,
what's
is
happening?
that ultimately,
Let's go back to the questions.
Ultimately, I'm very much a very kind man, and what you're doing is
He's the
horrible.
kindest.
The
What you're
kindest.
doing is just
You
fucking
sound
horrible.
like a very fucking kind man and the most just
very-
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. Because here, the actual victim who's not you, is who you should be crying for, not for you.